And I just, I don't feel that I was able to sort of focus on the studies. It wasn't, it's a shame really, it just wasn't sort of something that I was able to sort of do as well. Um, but during the Christmas holidays, the Christmas break at that point, I was still in a reasonable position that I could have caught up in that. Um, but there was a lot of issues going on. I think Mum was ill at home at that point. There was a lot of concern about her. I was sort of in contact with her through telephone. Um, and with the studies, I just found it really difficult, sort of catching up. It just became sort of too much, really. I wasn't able to. I think while I was there, I didn't really, I was sort of drinking more as well, and I wasn't, sort of lost my focus really, and I had some sort of mad moments as well of real depression, really. Where I sort of, sometimes I felt very lonely and empty, although I had a collection of friends, a couple of them moved on who I had been fairly close to. And I sometimes felt like I didn't, Mum was really ill at home. I didn't really feel I had anyone as a confidant or anyone to talk to that I could rely on at the time. So I felt very alone actually, and quite, yeah. So I didn't, and I was drinking more, and I suppose it just got. Although I meet people, it wouldn't, people. It wasn't sort of enough as in terms of being close enough to them. So I had some sort of like really bad occasions, I suppose, where I just wasn't looking after myself enough, and I wasn't sort of letting myself go a bit, and maybe the drink partly, and maybe the loneliness partly, and I don't know, and yeah, I suppose a variety of reasons. The third year just wasn't working out, and so it got to a point where I sort of realised, I'm too far behind and I'm not going to catch up. And so I kind of spoke to the tutor and said, look, I'm thinking, about deferring for a year, because this year it's just all gone wrong, and I can't do it. And there were some crazy things that happened, really. Yeah, I was sort of, I suppose, going out, meeting people, having various one night stands, getting involved in risky behaviour, things that were sort of kind of very risky, meeting strangers, drinking way too much. I never had done that before, actually. I just got to a state really of feeling kind of like there was a lot of stuff I had to do, and I had no one to talk to some of the time, actually. So I kind of, handled it quite badly, and I think there's one occasion I was passed out on a campus lawn at the campus when sort of a class walked by me, and I woke up on one occasion in a hospital with no memory of how I got there, so that was a bit concerning. Yeah, certainly the drink by the third year had got out of hand. Really, it had become a problem, and I just think really, I just felt kind of so lonely, and just like the old problem that I had of struggling to make social contact, that I'd left all that behind in Bristol. And the first 2 years, I had good house shares, so that enabled me to sort of have a good base where I could sort of reasonably talk with people, invite them back to mine, and I felt relatively comfortable within that, at least. But then I felt a lot more unstable in the third year, and sort of less sort of capable of sort of focusing enough on studies. I mean, on the positive side, I was meeting some people, but many of the people I was meeting also had a lot of their own issues and problems, really. So I met a really nice guy in a nightclub. We got on quite well. I went back with him to his house, and it turned out he was a post-op transsexual, actually. But he had his own issues, and that he regretted it. But we got on quite well as friends. But I met a number of different characters there who were very interesting and diverse, and all sorts of different people and that. I sometimes was in a very weird headspace and that. I think as well, I lost the focus of my studies of like, why am I doing this? What's this about? I lost the actual reason of why I was doing it, actually, and what it was all for. Like, 'cause I kind of felt like the studies were very logical, very scientific. I went in there to learn about books and poems and journalism, and I didn't really want to sort of like do linguistics, like structural analysis and phonetics, phonology, and syntactic analysis. I'm not into all that. I don't know. It was a very logical, structural thing. Anyway, I saw a lot of it. I wasn't that into it. I kind of thought, I don't know what I'm doing here. And I suppose I here kind of lacked having sort of a close friend or parent figure who would sort of keep me in line and sort of like give me good advice, or I kind of sort of missed out on that, I suppose. And I wasn't that sort of self-disciplining either, so there were a few occasions where I felt kind of very low, and I think I hit a low point after an argument. There was an argument with someone I had been close to, and then that made me feel more alone. I was sort of dwelling on things for some time, and looking back over old memories that were upsetting and all sorts of things. And I walked out to the sea one day, terribly enough, and I sort of waded up to my waist, but what I was thinking. But fortunately, a guy approached me and waded in and said, "Are you okay?" And I had to pretend to be and come and join us at our fire on the beach. And I said no, but thankfully he was there, and I walked off, embarrassed and wet, but I was okay. I just sort of sobered up. It was a bit. I didn't think anything of it, but it was just a crazy moment, I suppose, happens. But yeah, I think so. Anyway, I deferred that third year, and it just didn't work out, sadly enough. And but I did go to America, so that was nice. I went to visit a friend there. So yeah, we went off to Romania the previous year. That'd be nice. And so she owed me the cost of an airfare, so I thought I went off to America to visit someone, and a friend that I'd met through university. Went to Reno, so it was very nice. We worked in Burning Man. It was a festival. It was a really good opportunity to meet people there and to look at all the fascinating art displays. And yeah, it was out in the desert.